All right, Brian.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's do this.
All right.
Here we go.
You're on.
Okay. This is podcast 276. Scratch Car Guys here with my bestie Sam for a part 2 interview. People have asked for her to come back on, so I figured I'd give her the opportunity to come back on and talk. What's up, Sam? Nice to have you back on the show again.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
Now, we want to get back on because there's topics we discussed last time we didn't get to cover a lot of. We discussed some in a little bit in detail, but we weren't doing a lot of things. I want to discuss really quick for a couple. First topic at first is the specialty we talked about a lot. A lot of people get into that. What was your initial reaction when I told you about that? Because I remember when I first told you about it, it was something that you never really thought about.
When you first told me about the speeding up song?
Yeah. Because I remember telling you about the first time or telling you about it, and you weren't like, were you aware of it, or were you kind of like enthralled by the idea? Because a lot of people I remember telling you about it, and you didn't really. Were you not aware of it at the time, or what was the reaction when I first told you about it? Because I remember that.
Yeah, I would say I probably wasn't that aware of it. Like, I think there were a couple songs that I liked that started to speed up, but I never really thought about it. You know, like I never thought about the effort in the songwriting put into it. And then when you brought it up to me, I started noticing all the songs that kept speeding up.
Yes, and I wanted to ask you too. So I watched Beauty and the Beast recently. I watched Beauty and the Beast recently, both movie versions of Beauty and the Beast, and I like them both equally.
Both equally?
Well, let me explain. Well, it's kind of hard. Well, the thing is hard for me. I can't pick which one I like better. It's hard to pick which one I like better.
Because you love both so much?
Yeah. Let me explain why. Because in Beauty and the Beast in the remake, they teach them how to read, like actually read a book. And in the original, they don't do that. Isn't that kind of weird, though? Or they skip over that scene. Maybe the version I saw, they skip over that scene. Maybe they do in a different version. They show it, but they don't show it in the original version. They teach them how to read books. So why do you think they omitted that part? Though it's weird that they kind of skipped that part a little bit in the original version. Well, at least the one that I saw, they skipped over that part.
Yeah, that is weird because Belle really likes to read.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge part of her life. So it would make a lot of sense that if the Beast didn't already know how to read, they would teach him so that they could, read the same books.
Same books. Now, but in the original version, though, but they don't show it in the original. It's omitted from the movie. Isn't that kind of weird? Well, at least the version that I watched, it was omitted.
It is, but my thought was that in the original movie, the Beast was a prince before, and he was like, I don't know, looks like he was in his like 20s or something. Yeah. So this guy was like a little bit older, and he was a prince. He might have known how to read already.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way though, because there was a lot of there was a lot of. I was thinking about it though. Why didn't you want to read? And they actually got out of the Beast. They actually said the Beast's mother dies and the father passes away, so that's how he became a beast. Well, that makes sense though to an extent, because they mentioned in the other movie that they mentioned how he became like that, because they said his father passed away and his mom passed away. So could that have been maybe a reason why it became beastly, or because of the spell, or maybe it could have been both reasons? What do you think? Could have been both reasons, maybe?
I think definitely both things probably contributed, because I think he was. You remember the witch cast a spell on him, or the old lady?
Yeah.
Because he was kind of nasty to her. He wasn't nice. He wasn't welcoming. And he might have been being nasty because he was really sad about his parents passing away. Yeah, I often wonder that. So that might have caused his bad behavior, I wonder.
Yeah,
or at least played a part.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Now, let's talk about the musical one, too. Also, 6. Okay. Let's talk about that. So how did that come up? So tell the story, or tell everybody the story, how that came up. Mm-hmm.
This is a good story. So this was a few weeks before Christmas. And I live in New York. I don't live in Massachusetts, so Brian and I don't get to see each other very often.
Yeah.
But a few weeks before Christmas, his dad texted me and said, "Hey, would you want to go to the musical 6 with Brian?" The day after, or I think it was the 30th. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, I would definitely want to," because I was home for the holidays. The timing worked out. But the fun part was Brian had no idea. So it was a surprise for you, right?
Yeah, it was a surprise. Yeah.
That's nice.
It was a huge surprise.
So, and I was really looking forward to the musical all by itself because it was supposed to be super good. And we just had an awesome time.
And I like the one-on-one time too, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that one-on-one, time. I like that too.
Yeah, it's nice to get away from your parents for a while too.
Yeah.
And just like hang out, be an adult.
With friends, yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying this to somebody recently. I said this to you before. I think a lot of my closest friends are mostly girls, and I'll explain why. I don't know if a lot of people know this on the podcast. Would you explain why I say that? I think you know why, but I'll tell the listeners in case I don't know. I think I tell the listeners that. What do you think? Why I think that?
I think so.
Because girls are a lot more fun than most guys. They're a lot more fun. They're a lot more engaging. They have more to say. Guys are like, yeah, sure, okay. Like they're very quick to not answer questions. Girls, you get a lot more done. They're more productive than most guys. I don't know. That could be just me being guyist. I don't know, but I don't know. I just think that girls are a lot more fun than guys. Guys are kind of like, I don't. But I'm a guy, so I don't know if I should be criticizing my own kind. But it's just I feel like girls are more fun and girls are a lot more open than guys.
I mean, honestly, I tend to agree with you. I think.
Me too.
Yeah, right? No, I mean, I definitely have some guy friends and stuff, but I have a lot more fun with girls usually.
Yeah.
And I think they're, very friendly a lot of the time.
But as far as I would say that though or not? Would I shock you? I would say that though because coming from because
not really.
No,
I think you get along well with girls.
So tell us about what we're going to do pretty soon. So I'm going to have you meet my bestie Chrissy pretty soon at karaoke whenever we get that done. Let's talk about some of our besties hangouts because a lot of people have been curious. People have been asking a lot of questions about that. So explain a little bit of that. So I mean, I was saying after 6, we went to go 6. After we went to go see 6, and we said, just beginning more fun things we're going to do. So tell people a little more about that, about what we got going on.
Yeah. So I would say the next thing on our agenda is going to karaoke.
Yes.
We have gone to karaoke together before last year.
We did.
But since then, I know Chrissy has been taking you.
Yes,
what we're going to do next is have a karaoke night with me, Chrissy, maybe your mom and dad, maybe my mom and dad. We'll see if they get the invite.
I'll think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll even get Chrissy to sing.
Yeah.
You and I will definitely do a couple duets.
Yeah.
And maybe Chrissy will join us in that as well.
We do have that. And it's funny because tell me about the song that I chose because and you explained to me why I chose the song. I chose a Glee song to do. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so the song that Brian chose was really fast and it had a lot of words. It was a really good song. Yeah, it was a Glee Christmas song. Yeah. So it was We Need a Little Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think someone else had probably done it before Glee, but I don't know who the original is. So we were gonna sing if the karaoke guy had it in his collection. We were gonna sing. Oh yeah, he could get it.
Yeah, we can get it. Yeah.
Then we were gonna sing "Need a Little Christmas"
by Glee.
By Glee. The only problem there is for me, it's in a really high key. So I definitely was telling Brian that he had to take the lead.
Yeah.
I can probably do that. I can probably take the lead if I have to. I mean, I can do that, I think.
Yeah, you can definitely take the lead. I know you're not shy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a funny question that I want to see what your answer is. That the Beast asks in the movie. All right. And I'm going to change it around because obviously I'm in person right now. We're obviously on the phone. But I'm going to ask a question that the Beast asks. I think you know what it's going to be. But I'm going to see if you can. I think I'm going to ask. But I just want to see if you get what I'm saying. Okay. So it's not like we're in person, but I'm going to ask it in this voice. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you happy on this podcast with me?
I don't know what Belle's answer to that is. I feel like she probably says no in the movie.
Right.
But I would definitely say yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's very interesting too. I was thinking about this too, is that if I ever dated somebody like Belle, you know what I would take? I would take her to a karaoke bar first. What do you think? Do you think she would like that,
Bill?
Bill?
She likes to sing?
Yeah. I mean, she sang 2 songs in the movie.
Oh, right. Oh, you're right. She does sing a lot in the movie. That was a silly question.
She does sing in that
I
movie.
think she would like that. I mean, I don't see why not. If anything, she could just kind of hang out, and meet some people.
Do you think she'd be afraid of crowds? Like, do you think big crowds would bother her like that or no?
Maybe not bother her, but she might not be quite as outgoing as you.
Really? I like to work on her, I think. I think I could work on her.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Or, it's like you could be the really outgoing one and she could be the more bookish one.
That's kind of like me and Chrissy. Chrissy,
exactly,
she's more the quiet. Yeah. She's more the quiet one.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. And believe it or not, I actually was curious about this. So you like Princess Jasmine? Are you saying Princess Jasmine? Oh, you like her, Princess Jasmine? Yep,
I do like Jasmine.
You do. So here's the thing. I like her. This is gonna sound really, really, really weird, but I think she's a little bit. I don't know. She's too. The word mean the wrong word to use. I don't know. She's almost like too. I don't know. Like
tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Jasmine, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would, date Jasmine, but I would probably. I'll tell you what. I would give her. I'd give her a shot, Jasmine. I would definitely give her a chance if she.
Okay.
If offered,
well, it's okay. She's not your type. Not everyone has to be your type.
Not everybody does. No. But also, I want to ask you too about this. Anna Kendrick just wrote a book recently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, wrote a book.
What's it called?
It's called Scrappy Little Nobody.
Okay.
And she reads it. She actually reads it on her own. She actually reads the book herself, believe it or not.
Oh, are you gonna get it?
I've read it. I listened to it.
Oh, how is it?
It's very good. It talks about all kinds of funny stuff. Like she says she's a square. I don't know what she means by that. She says she's a square. You know what she means by that or not?
That she's like kind of lame or like a homebody or something maybe.
I don't know. And then she talks about being very small. Whenever chapter starts out, she goes, "I'm very small. I admit that." Like one of the parts.
She kind of has the voice of someone who would be small.
Yeah, it would be very small.
She has a really high voice. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell everybody about the book I'm writing. I told you about the book, the Besties book. I don't think people know about that yet either. There's a lot of things that you can explain a little bit. The book I was telling you about, I'm writing about too, the movie and the book.
Yeah, so I think we touched on this last time, but so you're writing a book. What is it? What's the title again?
Besties, the real story about or Brian's Besties, something like that.
Yeah, so this story is going to be about your friendships, right?
Yeah.
And I think the first part will start with you.
Yeah.
A little bit about your life.
Yeah.
How you came to be up to this point, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think you were going to give a chapter to each me and Christy. Is that right?
Yeah. So what would happen is each chapter, it would be in your own, I wouldn't want it to be anybody else reading the chapters for you. I want it to be in your own voices alone. I think it would sound more realistic. I think it'd be more realistic.
I think so too, right?
It would be more.
I think those are the best audiobooks, read by the people who wrote them.
Now, speaking of books, why hasn't Belle, the original Belle written the book? I told her she should write a book.
What'd she say?
She said I gave her a title. I said it's called Being Belle. I told her call I Am Belle. I gave her a title. She liked the title of the book. So,
what did she say when you asked her if she was going to write one?
She was surprised. I said, "Well, I think if Ariel wrote a book, why don't you write a book? Ariel wrote a book. Why don't you write a book?" Ariel did.
Well, she might not have thought of it before.
No.
Yeah, that might be like new. I don't know. Maybe that could be her second act in life.
Well, the second act. You know what she does for a living?
Yeah.
She actually paints now. She paints for Disney Fine Art actually now.
Well, she probably needs so much money being Belle that she could kind of do whatever she wants now.
Really? At this point?
Yeah, I would think so, right?
In her life. Yeah, she's 60. You know what's kind of cool? I watched the video for last night actually on YouTube where she does the part, she sings the part where she goes, there goes the baker with the straight light, always the same bread and loves to sell. Every morning just the same. That's the morning that we came to this poor potential town. And the crowd goes, "Good morning, Belle!" And they scream it, "Good morning, Belle!"
Wow. That's a lot.
Now, I got a funny idea. I got a funny idea for a festival. You ready for this one? Ready for this? I got an idea for a funny festival. Ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Okay. You get Kiss, Dolly Parton, Amanda Seyfried, Gene's was in Kiss, so let's scratch that. Kiss, Dolly Parton, Aerosmith, Amanda Seyfried, and then Belle. All one big festival. You get.
This sounds like your dream come true.
It would be a festival. I mean, but how would that work? I'm just curious. Like, I mean, because you do a lot of events. How would that work, you think? Like, how would that logistically work, you think, if you had Belle come on later on, or like the actors that played Belle and Ariel come on stage later on? Or how would that work?
Well, I think it could work in a couple different ways.
Okay.
Well, first you'd have to decide who's the headliner.
Yeah.
So who of all those acts would you want to be like the main star one?
It's probably would make Kiss mad, but I'm gonna make Belle the headliner.
I like that idea.
You do?
Kiss has headlined enough concerts.
Yeah. I don't. Now here's the question though. What song did they all do together? If they were to come out all together on stage for one song, ooh, that's a challenging question, huh?
Yeah, that is challenging.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, I don't know. It would need to be a song that has a lot of different voices in it.
Yeah.
And maybe some harmonizing.
Yes.
Well, if it was around Christmas time, they could definitely do We Need a Little Christmas.
Yep. Now,
if it was a holiday concert,
that could work. Maybe with Christmas. And I'm thinking too that maybe they could also do the thing where they go like, what if it was like this? What if it was We Need a Little Christmas. Fire comes out from Gene's face, and he blows fire in the audience.
Whoa, that would be intense.
Be intense.
Yeah.
Now I got an idea. I got an idea about this festival. I got a better idea. Ready for this idea? I got a better idea. Ready for this idea? I got a better idea.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm thinking they could do something there. Kiss could do something there with Belle. Something there they could try to do.
Like what? Oh, something there?
Yes, they could do that song.
Oh, like Gene could play the Beast or something?
Yes.
Oh, I like that idea.
And it's funny because if Gene did it, I think it'd be funny if Gene's like, "Come on, Belle, let's get on stage, Belle. Come on, Belle, let's get on stage, Belle." That's how he would say it to Belle. If he was like, "Come on, Belle, let's go."
So he would kind of introduce them.
Yeah, and they would come out. Yeah, and then she would come out to a little town, Quiet Village, and then they would bring out and then the whole band would come out and do now. Now, do you think they could put the rock and roll on it? Like, could they put a rock version and Belle could go, "There goes the baker with a stray light always." Like, they can make like a little bit of a rock version to that if they wanted to. I think she could do that if they had tried that.
Sure, I don't see why not.
Sure. I mean,
I think she has some range.
She has some range, and I've wondered too a little bit too. So, if Amanda Seyfried came out for the festival, how many songs do you think she would do? 5 or 6 songs. What songs? I mean, what songs do you think?
Well, would you want them to be all Mamma Mia songs?
Yeah, she could do that. Yes, mostly Mamma Mia, I think. And I think she should do them, acoustically, with no band. She just comes out honestly with the guitar. The old-fashioned way. Back they did in the 1930s to 40s. When they didn't have no band, you just come out and do a couple songs with the guitar or something like that.
Yeah, so that could be like the interlude at in the middle of the show, maybe before the big rock Beauty and the Beast finale. That
could be really fun. And then maybe at the end, remember how the song when they go, "Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast," right? They could do that song, and the Gene could go, "Beauty and the Beast, oh yeah."
I love that. I think you should pitch this idea to them.
Who to Gene or to Belle?
Well, both.
Both.
I think Gene would be the harder sell.
Why? Well, why? Because he's big.
Yeah, and because he has a bunch of his own music.
So tell me about the Gallo story one time. A lot of people don't know about that. Yeah, so this happened years ago, randomly out of nowhere. So
yeah,
let me set up for you, and then I'll kind of let you take it the reins. So
set the stage.
So years ago, when I was at school at Perkins, we used to have a charity event we used to do every year. The chorus would sing with a big name act every year, like some headliner. Well, I would call them kind of. Okay, well, I'm going to couch this one, but I got to think about how I'm going to put this. Let's go with that. Past headliners. Like we're once headliners, but now they're kind of in their older stages of career. So like different bands will come every year. Like we had Orleans came out with the song "Still the One." Silent Family Stone came out with "Everyday People," like just stuff like that.
Oh wow!
So yeah, like a lot of like older like acts, I guess. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So there was one time that, and every year at the gala, so I'll set the stage for you. So we would rehearse all day long, literally all day. We rehearsed like from 10 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon, at least, the very least. And they gave us
a long day.
Yeah, but I did it. So we would get pizzas during the break. Now you know me, I'm maybe a pizza critic, but I ate the pizza. Just keep the peace.
Good.
So, and plus it was a restaurant. It was ordered from a restaurant too. Restaurant ordered too, believe it or not, too. A lot of people. So people were just there. People were just very. There was a lot going on. People were loose. People are stressed out the gala. So explain the rest of that story. So I'll give you kind of the implement to that. Did I give it to you right?
Yeah, so it's during the gala. Everyone's taking a break.
Yeah, and I remember what year it was either. I just remember it happened like maybe in 2017. Again, my friends wouldn't even remember this even happening. One of my friends doesn't remember it happening at all. So it's weird. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
It is weird. So no, it's okay.
It's okay.
So everyone's just relaxing in between rehearsals.
Yeah,
which is a very long day.
Having lunch. Yeah, it's a bit of a break.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
You look over and you see a group of your friends singing what song?
You gonna?
It was. Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes.
I'm serious. It happened. Yes, it was random.
Yep.
Out of the blue.
It was super random, out of the blue, and
I didn't even know they were even doing it. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, hadn't that song kind of been following you?
Strangely. Oddly enough, it has been. Yes. Oddly enough, it has been.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell them about your recent instances of hearing the song?
Yeah. So, 2 days ago at work, Hannah last week was singing out of nowhere. So it's funny. Everywhere I go now, I shouldn't say everywhere, but in the most unlikely of spots or places, it'll happen. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like in the least, likely of spots, it'll happen out of the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So, do you think it was almost like a curse? I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but it was almost like a. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. What do you think?
Well, curse makes me feel like it's a bad thing, but I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad thing.
No.
So, like whatever the good version of a curse, just like a regular spell, maybe.
Yeah. Seems to be like follow.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, like a regular kind of spell.
Yeah. And before I let you go, see, a lot of people have been curious about. Would you ever want to have a spell cast on you like that? I think it'd be kind of cool for like a day, but then after a while, you'd be. What would you think? I
agree. I think it would get old really fast.
Now,
like I wouldn't mind at first, but then I'd be like, all right, what's the antidote?
Now, would you want to be around singing utensils all the time? Would you want to be around like singing utensils every day, where they come out of your drawer and start like singing out of nowhere, like randomly, just out of like nowhere?
I would, but only if they were happy.
What do you mean?
You know how Beauty and the Beast, they're not happy because they want to go back to being like people.
Yeah.
But if I had talking, like things around my house and they were just happy being that way who they were, then yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Who do you think you talk to the most about? Who do you talk to the most about utensils? Who would you speak with the most? Like your spoons or your forks? Like who do you get along with the most? Just
probably my coffee cup, I think.
Coffee cup. Who would you want to?
I sit down and have coffee every morning, so I think we get to know each other.
Who would you want to have as your coffee cup voice talk? Who would you want to have as your coffee cup voice? If they were gonna have.
That's a really good question. Someone like not annoying because it's first thing in the morning.
Not annoying.
So yeah, so maybe like Who has a really soothing voice?
Sam Elliott. Oh, he's kind of relaxing.
No, he's too old.
He's too old. Yeah, he's too old.
Yeah, I want someone younger.
What about
Maybe, I feel like someone British would do a good job.
Keira Knightley? You know who Keira Knightley is?
Oh, I love Keira Knightley.
Yeah, she could be she'd be a great voice for that. Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley. And I've wondered too. So why is it in most movies the princess's mother passes away? It's weird. How come most princess movies always have the princess has a bad, complicated personal life? Most of them do.
That's a really good question. I feel like they want to make them have like a sympathetic backstory.
They do. They try to make it.
Yeah. So they already have your sympathy like going into it.
Going into it. Now, who did you be friends of all the princesses? Who did you want to be friends with out of all of them? If you had to be friends with the princess, just hypothetically speaking.
I think I would be friends with all of them.
Yeah.
But the ones I think I'd be closest with, probably Belle.
Okay.
And then maybe like Mulan.
What about Tiana?
Mm-hmm.
Without whatever.
Yeah, I like Tiana.
Tiana. She's a pretty good person. She's very she's determined. What about Jasmine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Jasmine as well. I like all of them.
Now, what princess? If the princess from the country, who would you want a princess to run the country? If we had a Disney princess from the country, who would you pick?
Ooh,
I don't think I asked this question.
Maybe Jasmine.
Jasmine?
Yeah, she has experience with it. Remember, because she's a princess.
Yeah, she could do
like
it.
Her dad like runs whatever it is, Saudi Arabia, Agrabah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I think she might do the most practical job.
Do you think Agrabah is a democracy?
Ooh, probably not, because they have like a king.
A king? Did you say a king?
Yeah, because I think her dad's the king, right?
Yeah, yes, he is the king. Now, who would you want? Oh, let's talk about our town, Bestiesville, for a second. I made up this town recently. Let's talk about that for a second. Explain that for a little bit to people, because people aren't aware of that.
Yeah, well, I think you probably do a better job explaining it than I would, but it is a town.
Yeah.
That you have created.
Yeah.
I think you're the mayor, right?
What's that?
That you're the mayor?
No, I'm the president.
Oh, the president, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the president, and essentially, you get to set the rules of the democracy and have debates.
Yes.
And all your friends live there, right?
Yeah, all my friends are there, yeah. And believe it or not, now here's a question I have for that town. Will there be a nominating process? Like when I receive like a nomination, like like how they nominate people to run, like they have like a nomination field, like a primary challenge.
Yeah.
Did there be a Bessie's primary challenge before I would go further, or what do you think? Did there be a Bessie's primary or not?
I think there would have to be if you want to be a real democracy.
Real democracy.
Yeah, then I think you definitely would need to have a primary.
Now, how far do you think I would get in that? Like if I was running against, I mean, because my opponent. I forget my opponent's name. I think his name was it was a girl. Her name was like Caitlin. So I forget what her name was. But she was using besties as my opponent though was using besties as blackmail. She was trying to use blackmail. She said potentially had besties, but she really didn't have a lot of besties like she claimed she did. So in the debates I used against her a lot. Like one of the things I said to her, I said. One of the days I used against her, I said, "We said I'll blackmail my besties like you would do on certain days." I use that as a debate quote against her, it's pretty Bestiesville. Now, here's a funny question: what do you think would happen if the Besties election happened? Right? How long do you think we would know? We get the results. Did we get the results next morning? What do you think in Bestiesville?
I think it's usually the next day, right?
Well, yeah.
Because I think the counters will probably be counting the votes like into the evening.
To the evening, yeah. Yes. Now.
So I think next morning.
Now, did it be a landslide? Or did it be kind of close?
Well, probably depends on like the voters.
The voters?
Yeah, like what matters to them, what kind of issues are most important.
Yep.
But I definitely think you'd win, but it might be close.
Might be close. Yeah. Well,
You never know.
yeah. Well, look, Sam, it's been a great time having the podcast again, Sam. I'm again for a part 3 pretty soon. It's something I haven't got yet back on again for a part 3, I promise.
Okay,
I
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah. And then we're talking next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Next Tuesday night at 6. I'm looking forward to you ready for that too. We'll talk next Tuesday at 6.
That sounds good. Thank
you so much, Sam. I'm again for part 3 very soon. Thank you so much. You're the best.
All right, talk soon.
The besties,
Bye.
the besties are the best.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Save it.
Your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. And
What'd you do?
I didn't end it properly.